All right. I think it's okay. Make sure. Just let me know if you can hear me because I don't know if the connection just cut out or something along those lines. We are here for Nets versus Philadelphia. It is going to be a ripper, this game. This is a game that you have to look at and just say we win. And there's not really any excuses outside of that. Because Philadelphia, man, they are injury depleted today. No Embiid, of course. Nets killer D'Anthony Melton is not playing. Tobias Harris is not playing. Nick Batum is not playing. So that is a fair chunk of their rotation out, and that ultimately means that they are fielding a starting lineup that looks like this. And I've just got to readjust it because it's a little bit offline. Those in chat, make sure to say hello. Hope you're all doing well on this fine summer's day if you're in Australia. It is 37 degrees Celsius over here, or going to be, so I'm not looking forward to how hot it is going to get. But yeah, I think that's just the way things are over here, aren't they? That is their starting lineup. Maxey, Marcus Morris, Daniel House, Paul Reed, and Kelly Oubre. Now, you know all too well that players like Kelly Oubre for some reason decide to play well against us. Same with Paul Reed. Paul Reed is a Nets killer. Every single time he's called upon to play replacement minutes, he always decides to rock up. So hopefully we're not going to see the best of him today. And Claxton needs to be very, very, very on the front foot, let me just say. That is the starting lineup for the Nets. It is Spencer Dinwiddie, Cam Thomas, Bridges, Johnson, Claxton. Audio issues? Is it just the volume's too low? Because usually that's sort of how it works. If it is too low, then just bump it up, I guess. But yeah, there are some really good bits of news for the Nets. So first of all, you look at Embiid being out and basically their whole starting lineup being out, or some really key cogs. And then you also look at the fact that if I cycle through the injury report, there is no Ben Simmons because Ben Simmons is back. It's a 1-game absence, or was a 1-game absence for him. He is now back. And he will have a pretty good part to play. I was very, very, what was I going to say? Very excited to see a Ben Simmons, Joel Embiid matchup because I love the antics between those two. You just know that there is a bit of fire between those two. Even though it's not really apparent on the surface, you can tell that it is it does exist, and you'd be a fool to not acknowledge it. But unfortunately, we're not going to get that today. Yeah, so we will see how we go today. Ben Simmons is, ultimately a difference maker. Now, I don't know if any of you have seen. I did put it in the community tab as well. I did do a podcast episode talking about Ben and a couple of other things in between with a podcast called Nets Fans You Know. If you haven't watched it and would like to, it literally is Nets Fans You Know on YouTube. So you can always, if you want to hear some extra content as on top of what I do here, that is the best place to look. It's like a 17-minute podcast episode, so it's not really going to take too much time out of your day if you do tune into it. So, yeah, that's just another thing I've done since the previous game. Ben may not play as many minutes as the last game. Oh, I think he will. I don't really see why they will hold him out. Cam Thomas has 28 in his last 4 games, or he's averaging 28. Shooting 50-40 splits, 50-40-90 actually, and he's attempted 8 free throws in that time per game. So he's doing a bit of everything. Steals is at 1.5 in that time as well. So Cam Thomas he's been a quality player. He's been a really good quality player in the last few games, and we're going to need to see a little bit more of that today. Irrespective of how good the Sixers roster is, I can already foresee that they are going to put up a fight because they usually do. It doesn't really vary according to the personnel they have. They always seem to find a way to remain in the contest. So, yeah, I mean, we've just got to make sure we start off strong. I want to see stuff very similarly to that of the Jazz game that we played a few games back, because that one was, well, we took advantage of a team who theoretically we should really have dealt with a lot easier, and we did in that game, to be fair. So yeah, what, I just got booted from League Pass? That is weird. Why is it holding me out? I've never seen that error before. There we go. That's all good. All right. I will just do a little poll so you can get your votes in. Who wins this game? Those who have just joined us, welcome. Ben Simmons is playing today. Cam Thomas, of course, remains in the starting lineup. No Dorian Finney-Smith. In a period of time where he potentially may get shipped off. When on earth did the time start? Stop and reset. Let's do this all over again. Alrighty. So the Nets are at 19 wins right now. They can get to 20, obviously, with a win today. In case you've missed it, the starting lineup for Philly is Maxey, Morris, Reed, Oubre, Daniel House, and for the Nets, it is Cam Thomas, Mikal Bridges, Spencer Dinwiddie, Cam Johnson, Claxton. So the same team that played last game and the same team that played the game before that. So fair to say that JV has faith in a certain group. In an interview last week, Cam said, "We will be good when Ben acclimates to the team," but he has it wrong. It's the team that needs to acclimate to Ben. Not just the team, but the coach as well. Yeah, I would agree with that. I would. To be fair, though, I don't think they need to acclimate at all. Because they would have spent a whole preseason trying to, getting the reps in. Because the whole offense has been built off Ben. So if they're trying to acclimate to the way Ben operates, even with a full off season of building and using Ben as the foundation for the system, then I don't really know what to tell you. So yeah, it's I think that's why it was so seamless for the team to perform immediately against Utah. Like, it was actually nuts. Ben had 6 dimes in 4 minutes. He had I think the Nets averaging 12.5 points from fast break situations this season per game, and we had about 13 in the first quarter when Ben had that explosive burst of 6 dimes in that 4-minute period. So he is just so important. He's heavily important to what we do and how we operate. So it's just going to be, well, you'd hope that translates to today for sure. Those who have enjoyed the pregame, make sure to drop a like on it. And if you are enjoying thus far, although the game hasn't started, make sure to subscribe because we'll be we'll be back for plenty more watch parties. And if this is something you enjoy, well then, of course, make sure you do that. The next game we'll miss the Warriors game because I won't be available to get in front of the computer. I didn't realize the game had already started, and for some reason things had slacked off. We've actually scored 2 points. Let me just get it updated. I don't know why my feed was delayed by like 2 minutes. Bridges just got a 3 to rim in. Hold on a second. I don't know why that just did that. Okay. And now it's in sync. So Maxey got Philly on the board. And the Nets have scored their opening 2 baskets. Thomas the lob, he looked for Claxton. That's just a terrible pass. It was behind him. And now Oubre the drive will get one up. And that rims out. The rebound by the Nets, it's fumbled out. And it's now Spencer Dinwiddie who will swing it to Johnson. We have the open number on the weak side. In the corner, it's Bridges. It's off. The rebound by Philly. And so, opening quarter underway now. And they feed Morris in the post, who's got Thomas on him. Out to Reed with a little jumper. You got the soft bounce off the rim, and the Sixers have their first 2 points from a jump shot from Paul Reed. It's now Johnson the drive. Where is he throwing that? I don't know where CJ was even thinking of directing that. That was just a very abysmal pass, if that's what it was. If that was a shot, well then it's probably even worse. There's no winner there for CJ. The ball's inbounded, and Cam Thomas completely discarded his defender, which meant that there were open numbers on the weak side. However, Dinwiddie wasn't able to hit the 3. Oubre across to Reed, back to Oubre. He's got Dinwiddie on him now. He shoots over the top and misses. The rebound by Claxton, and we are 2.5 minutes into the first. It's Johnson, the high screen by Claxton. Open jump shot as Paul Reed's playing drop coverage, and that is too easy. You cannot permit those. And the Nets have made 3 of their first 5 shots. It's now Maxey who will facilitate. Use that screen by Reed. Blitzed by Bridges and Claxton across to Morris. And now to the corner for Oubre, who pulls the trigger. Misses. Rebound. I don't know how on earth the Philadelphia 76ers have secured that. Because Paul Reed just threw it away. And even though Nets were there to swoop on it, they somehow didn't get there. Maxey tried to flip one up and in and was off. And the rebound by the Nets, it's Dinwiddie the drive. Oh, that's a good feed to Johnson, who cut down the middle. Far too easy, and the Nets up 5. And fair to say, the offense has flowed pretty smoothly in the opening 3.5 minutes. Oubre the drive. Doesn't get it to go. The putback by Reed's going to get waved off, and it's going to be a foul on Claxton. So, 2 shots coming up for Kelly Oubre. First personal, of course, on... Actually, I think it was Cam Johnson. So, Oubre at the line. Makes the first. So, it's 9-5. So 1 completed, 1 to come for Oubre. The second is good. He is perfect. Sixers up 9. Oh, Nets up 9-6. And it will be Dinwiddie. Picked up by Maxey, the high screen. It's not really used. Johnson is wide open. That one short. Could have gotten the long rebound, but Maxey got an injection of pace. And there's an easy layup for House in transition. That is well done by Tyrese, who was the more assertive figure in that moment. Johnson got rid of his defender. Claxton under the basket. Good reverse jam. It's 11-8. And 4 minutes have elapsed. Claxton has got the braids. He's changed up the trim just very subtly. Maxey from way downtown is off. Claxton with the board, with the longer arms in that situation. Bridges across to Dinwiddie. Open look, steps into a three. Doesn't get it to go, and Bridges didn't get the putback. Spencer's had a couple of open ones and just hasn't gotten them to drop. Maxey will drive. No foul. Claxton another board. He gets it to Dinwiddie quickly, who will slow things up. Send it to the trailing Johnson on the wing. The screen by Claxton. Stops. Well done by Maxey to stay with. Dinwiddie on the catch. That is another three that's off by Spencer. He has taken just too many threes for my liking. He shouldn't even be taking 3 threes a game. And he's taken them in about 5 minutes. So, first quarter well and truly underway now. And the Nets have led every step of the way, much like they did in the previous game against Phoenix for the majority of the opening quarter. Our first check of the game, box score-wise. Let's just have a look at... Well, first I need to refresh it so I can see the full array of stats. Bridges got 3, Johnson got 4, Claxton with the 5 boards already. And for the Sixers, they have nearly gotten points out of every player thus far. We would have been shooting the 3 a lot better if Spencer Dinwiddie didn't jack half of those up. He is the only guy not to score, and he's taken the equal most shots. So I don't really know what that's saying, but you can see where the better shots are being taken on the interior. I mean, you look at their front court, it's not really a starting level front court, is it? So I don't know why we're not being a little bit more assertive and getting that balance right. We should not be taking more 3s than 2s in any circumstance today, especially with Embiid not playing. Maxey's 1 of 5. The Sixers are 3 of 10 from the field, so there is a little bit of disparity in the scoring at the moment and the way, the shots that are being taken. But yeah, that is really a summation of what's been happening in the opening 4.5 to 5 minutes. At the moment, it's not too bad of a performance. I mean, I don't need to keep on saying it. You can't win a game playing 36 minutes. And too many times this season we've played 3 quarters and just been missing for 1. And we've gotten absolutely smoked in that quarter and been rightfully punished. So a lot of results have been dictated off the back of that. So we've just got to be far better in that respect, in being able to hold them off. Or not hold them off, but just remain stable and not fall into those down periods when things are going tough. Don't look for the difficult shot because you're lazy and you need to force it or you feel pressured to force it. Just take your time, navigate your way through it. And the shots will open up. The opportunities will be there today, for sure. So the Sixers, through Maxey, will get it to House, to the corner for Morris. Got Claxton on him, and it's knocked away. Well done by Clax. Had Morris walking a tightrope. We've got subs, and Ben Simmons is into the game with Walker and O'Neal, and there's a bit of booing going on for Ben Simmons. I don't know how many times since Ben got traded he's actually played here. Because obviously he wasn't there for the playoffs last year. And I don't know about the regular season either. He definitely missed, obviously, the last game of the season. So it's sort of a weird one. It's a weird one how Ben has been off the team for a year or two now, and even still, I don't think he's really graced foot in this center all that often. So Mo Bamba's in, Beverly's in, the shit stirrer. And I don't know who else is in. I don't think anyone else is in. Morris, the turnaround on the baseline, airballed it. Ben with the board. And he's getting booed. Leaves it for the trailing O'Neal. 3 goes down, and Ben immediately gets a dime, and he's played 20 seconds. So impact already felt. Even though that was a very simple looking pass. Maxey. Oh, that's a crazy step back 3. But it's off, and now Ben with the rebound, and he can look to push it. Thomas the pull-up 3. Early offense is good. Dime number 2 for Ben Simmons. I think the toe was on the line, but they'll check it. The Nets have double the amount of Sixer points. Ben with 2 boards and 2 quick assists. He's going to pick up Maxey on this possession, who flips one up and doesn't get fouled. The Nets are able to gang rebound it. We got the numbers in transition. Walker does excellently well and hangs in the air. Waited for the window of opportunity to open, and he was able to score uncontested with the right hand. It's 18-8. The Nets have gone on a 9-0 burst. Ben has been in the game for 7 of those points, and he's been on the floor for about a minute and a half. How did that layup rim out by House? Another rebound for the Nets. And now Ben Simmons will leave it to O'Neal, who's trailing the play again. Cross court to Thomas. And now we'll play a little bit of half court because things have slowed up. But that favors Cam Thomas, and he's able to blow by Bamba and score off the window. So 20-8. In a minute and a half, we've scored 9 points. And Cam Thomas's so-called 2 is actually going to be upgraded to a 3 because there is daylight between his foot and the line. So expect that extra point to be added in due course. It's 20-8. And the Sixers have gone cold. So Pat Bev going to drive on O'Neal. Waits and scores as O'Neal was discarded from the play. And that is a bucket the Sixers desperately needed. Ben, hand off to Johnson. Now to Thomas on the left wing. Ben's going to set the screen. Thomas will go to work. Change of pace, kicks it out to Johnson. The drive, bounce pass to Ben, was going up before he even had the ball, and the Sixers get the steal, and Pat Bev will look to work things out. It's Johnson picking up Maxey on these possessions. Beverly's going to drive, bounce pass, good cut, and score by House. And that's too easy. I don't know who the direct assignment was. I think it was Cam Thomas. Can't allow those cuts to happen. Maxey with another steal. Just pickpocketed O'Neal. Maxey goes downhill. Layup is good. They've got 6 in a row. And we're going to get a timeout. And the Sixers, for the lack of personnel they've got, they have not committed a turnover in the first 8 minutes of action. So the last couple of plays, the Nets have turned the ball over. Easy fast break points for the Sixers with, well, no reinforcement on the inside. This is the scoreline at the moment. You can see Ben's already got the 2 assists, the 2 rebounds to his name. Let me just go box score. You can see the Nets are 9 of 15. 3 of 8 from 3. We've made our last couple, which is nice to see. Cam Thomas has got 7. He's leading the way. He has not missed. But the turnovers, they've got to remain down because, as you're seeing, as soon as we turn the ball over, very, very vulnerable in transition. So that's just something to note. The 7 dimes, of course, are a positive. But yeah, got to clean up the turnovers. And we've got to force him as well. Maxey's got 4. He is clearly taking the most shots. Oubre has not scored and taken the second most. They are not shooting it too well at all. Haven't made a 3 either. So that bench is looking awfully thin from a Philadelphia perspective. I mean, they've got a couple of blokes on the bench that, well, it doesn't say there that they're out with injury, but they are. So you're looking at G Leaguers and players that have really not seen too much time this season. They're going to play some regular minutes this season, or in this game, should I say. And that's, well, I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing, because, you know, chip on your shoulder type players always play hard, and they can take advantage of a side that's complacent. But that being said, you know, the talent's not always there. So it always goes one of two ways. And look, sometimes even if you're playing well, you're not, you know, you never really have enough talent to get it done. Even if you play hard, you've got the, you know, what's the word? You've got the willpower, you've got the right mindset, the right attitude, but sometimes attitude doesn't prevail. You know, sometimes talent does prevail, and no matter how hard you work, there's always going to be those difficult shots made by those who clearly trump you in talent. So the Nets got that point added. So Cam Thomas will have an extra point to his name, and the Nets have got 21 as opposed to 20. Jaden Springer is in. Korkmaz is also in. They're playing zone. Johnson on the outside on the catch. Yes, sir. And it's back up to 10. That's a great find by O'Neal, who was under the basket and was able to bypass all those hands in the air by the Sixers as a result of them playing that zone. Oubre, that is too easy. Johnson has been an absolute traffic cone on these drives. He's just allowing an easy bypass, and it's not even like there's no resistance whatsoever. So, free throws for Oubre for the second time tonight. And the first one is good. So, first one was good. And the second one lined up now is also good. So, cuts the lead to 8. For the Nets, it's Johnson, Bridges, Simmons. And then rounding out the 5 is Walker and O'Neal, with Dennis Smith out, Dorian Finney-Smith out, and Daron Sharp out, all valuable members of the bench. O'Neal fakes the handoff. He probably could have driven to the basket. Instead, he passed it out. O'Neal has an open 3. Pump fake, he's making it. Nope. Ben with the offensive board, out to O'Neal, down the middle, to the corner for Johnson. Now Walker, he's got 8 to shoot. He drives, kick out to Bridges. Back to Walker in the corner, who relocated. He's far too wide open. He's making threes at an abnormally brilliant rate this season. Nearly, like, I think about 46, 47%. And you can't allow him that much room or space. Johnson is able to read the pass after Beverly got trapped on the baseline. Ben, lob, Walker ushers it in with the right hand. And Ben, another dime. He's playing so well at the moment in this given game. Good contest there on Oubre. It was a tough shot and a low percentage shot. Ben's able to chase up the board and get us into offense quickly. Bridges moves into a 3. Yes, sir! Ben, another dime! We've gone on a run. 33. Sorry, I think it's 32. 32-16. Another burst of points. Oubre picked up by Bridges. Korkmaz to the corner. Beverly didn't shoot the 3. Gets into the paint. The lob was partially misdirected, but Bamba was able to, well, edge Ben Simmons out of the way. And back down to 14. Johnson to Walker. The screen on Beverly. Walker steps into a 3. It's off. Johnson got the board. And we're going to get a jump ball. The tie-up between Springer and Johnson. Johnson had first dibs on it, and then Springer came over to swarm him and was able to get the lockup. So the Sixers may be able to get the ball back in their possession. Bro, Ben just makes this team look so different. It's actually a bit fucked. And just like that, he's going to the bench. So JV was like, well, he's playing too well. We need to sub him off for Spencer Dinwiddie, who's clearly delivering in the exact same way. Springer v. Johnson in the jump. Springer does have springs in his legs because he was able to win the jump. And now Oubre in transition. We've just got... Oh my god, what is this lineup, bro? Oh my god, he just does not learn, JV, does he? Granted, the Sixers are playing is it Kenyon Martin Jr.? At the 5. But why the fuck are we playing O'Neal or Bridges at the 5? Or Johnson even? Like, they can't even play the 4. Mate, that is just a brain-dead lineup. Looks like Ben's gone to the bench because of a sort of a cut on his hand. So we're in the final 90 or so seconds of this first quarter. The Nets have been clearly the better side, and you would have hoped so, given all the outs for Philadelphia. I mean, that's going to be a problem they face for some time with Embiid, of course, out with the meniscus injury. And it'll mean that Maxey is going to take, well, he's going to have a higher burden. He's going to have to take full responsibility. Claxton's back in. Thomas is fouled going up, and he had a couple of defenders on his back, basically. And they both leaned into him. So 2 free throws for CT. Claxton is in, so thank fuck that JV didn't wait too long to bring Clax back in. And Ben's back on the bike. So good first quarter by Ben Simmons, a really explosive one. You just see the offense looks completely different. Like, with Spencer, it's less convincing. It's more boring. It sort of gets you a little bit more sleepy. With Ben, it's just constantly pinging around. We don't really dawdle with it. There's a lot more purpose to it. It's one of those things where you have to look at the eye test, or you have to validate and acknowledge the eye test, because the eye test tells you a lot. It tells you a crap ton about the way or how important Ben is to this team. Just 2 completely different outfits. Yet again, man, like, Oubre at the free throw line, and it's, I think, O'Neal picking up his second or third personal. It's his second. So Oubre at the free throw line makes another one. I believe these are he's shooting his 7th and 8th free throws in the quarter. It's pretty clear to see that the Sixers without these free throws would have been well and truly in the mud going into the second quarter. Instead, they are within reach. And so it's an 11-point lead. It feels like it should be a little bit more. The Sixers have had 8 free throws all through Oubre. The Nets have only taken 2. Bridges. Oh, what a move. And he's able to just graze it over the top. Nice little Euro step. It is going to be 2. He made the 2. He's going to get the extra shot at the free throw line. Just an excellent reverse lay. And the Philadelphia defenders were on skates. I don't know if it was Springer, I think it was, who had the hand on the chest of Bridges. He's been on a tear in the last 11 games, according to the broadcast. He's shooting 42% on threes in the last 11, averaging 26 and shooting 47% from the field. So he's been pretty quality. And a reason why we've we've been in games for a start, even though the results may have not converted. That mid-range is short by Pat Bev, and those are the shots you absolutely don't want to take, but you're probably forced into with the personnel you've got. Claxton inside, scores through Beverly, and if they're going to play zone, you're going to expect that there is going to be a lack of size on the inside with all that switching, and so Claxton took full advantage of that, and now the Nets up 16. It's Pat Bev guarded by Bridges. The pass to Oubre, who will shoot the three, still hasn't made a field goal, and we've got 4 seconds to get it ahead. Bridges to O'Neal, pump fake, behind the back to Bridges. Not enough lift, and that's what a time. And the Nets up 16 at the end of the first quarter, and that is an incredibly good result for this team. You could not give a shorthanded Sixers team the confidence that they need going into the second quarter. You start the game well, and obviously from then on, all you need to do is just hold on to that lead. So overall, I mean, it's been a pretty superb opening quarter by the lads. Ben Simmons, bro, in 5 minutes, 4 dimes, 4 rebounds. So, I mean, he's probably gonna, I don't know what the record is for players who get double-doubles with only assists and rebounds, but it feels like Ben Simmons is gonna put himself in a position every game he plays to do exactly that, because he's not a scorer, of course. He's actually got the 2 personal, so that's probably also why he got sent to the bench. Overall, though, we've got already 4 players who have scored 7 or more. And I mean, the team is just really firing on all cylinders at the moment. We've had 13 assists in the opening quarter. That is a stupidly good number. So is the field goal percentage. And, well, to be fair, I didn't think we'd taken 14 threes, but here we are with 6 makes, which of course is another huge reason why we've got, 38 points on the board in the first quarter. The free throws, would like to see a little bit more there, but I think as long as we're shooting the ball this well, it won't really matter. The turnover number, we had a stint where we gave away a few points because we weren't looking after the basketball, but outside of that, we've been very responsible with it. Mikal Bridges scored 2 threes, leading the way with 9 points. And then you got Cam Thomas in there with 8, who has not missed a field goal. Cam Johnson has got 7. Clax hasn't missed, and he's got 7 boards. So, Clax could have a double-double by the half at this rate if we take advantage. He's only played the 6 first quarter minutes, and I would suspect that means he's going to play a bigger load of minutes in the second quarter. The Sixers are shooting just abysmally from the field. Haven't made a 3 yet, but the free throw number is keeping him in this game because they've made more free throws than field goals. So, there you have it. Oubre's got 8 points, but he hasn't made a field goal. He's accountable for all their free throws, and Maxey's 2 of 8. So he's struggled in the opening portion of the game. And look, I think to get back into this game, they're going to have to start trying to get some good looks on the interior. And that's easier said than done when you've got a lot of weakness out on the court, or you've got a lot of players who are not renowned for scoring ability. That's a good bit of acceleration by, I'm not sure who, but that's the kind of attitude they're going to need to have. Thomas in transition, the 3 is off. Claxton batted it back, but straight to Martin. They have the numbers. Spin by Martin. Layup is good. And the Sixers get on the board first here in this second quarter. So that's probably one way they get back into the game, if they can force turnover. It's obviously going to contribute to the betterment of a result. Bridges, that's a great pull-up 3. He just looks so confident on the outside recently. There were moments in that losing streak where he just looked so hesitant and really lacking that confidence to just put the shot up immediately without thought. And now he's fully stepping into that shot, getting a great amount of elevation on the jump, and he's, knocking those shots down with will. Claxton was able to get the putback dunk, and Philadelphia were pleading for an interference. The ball was sitting on the rim, but they didn't get that call either. So the Nets getting everything to go their way. Maxey is blitzed by 2, but not aggressively. Reed on the outside, who can't shoot threes. He's going to shoot a jumper off one leg, and that is no good. well short Claxton. There is a tie-up between Bridges and Maxey, and there's a little bit of chit-chat between those two. So I'm liking the fire. Even if Embiid is out, I want a little bit of fire between these guys because, you know, the Philly crowd love to talk a load of shit. Embiid loves to be a shit stirrer as well. So, you know, even though they're missing him, and they're missing a couple of their better players, I don't really give a shit. You can only play the team that's, well, put in front of you, to be honest. And, well, quite frankly, what are we going to do about their injuries? Nothing. We just have to get the job done against an opponent. It's really that simple. And as I've said time and time again, you can be really complacent against these sort of teams. So you can have all the talent in the world, but it won't matter if you don't bring the right... What's the word? If you don't carry yourself the right way, you're going to get killed. And we've seen that with Nets games before, where we don't bring the heat and we get rightfully punished. Dinwiddie to Cam Thomas, after we got a stop, flings it out to Walker, who puts the ball on the floor and scores for 2+1. And that athleticism is just too hard to contain. And the Nets are up 21 points against this depleted Philadelphia side. It's great to watch. If you are enjoying, make sure to drop a like on it and subscribe as well if you are new. We'll be back for Nets versus Mavericks later in the week. And we won't be able to get to the Warriors game because I won't be in front of my computer. Maxey and Bridges are talking a lot. They are talking crap tons. So 46-24. Another run for the Nets. We've had quite a few of those in this opening half. 8-0 runs, 9-0 runs. And while they do say it's a game of runs, don't they? Morris, that is a contested jumper. Dinwiddie does well on the contest. Didn't give him any breathing space. Walker, behind him to Cam Thomas, who has way too much room. Steps into another three. It's good. This game is getting out of hand very, very quickly. We still have 9 minutes left of the second quarter, and the Nets are already up 25, have doubled Philadelphia's score, and they've nearly hit 50 points already. So the Philadelphia crowd, I think, even though they knew going in that it was always going to be difficult and they probably didn't have the advantage, to be getting cooked by this much this early on in the game, I think you probably couldn't see coming. Maxey, the drive, short on another jumper, but Maxey's able to get the rebound by fortune, and the hook shot is good by Martin. So Claxton, who should have had the rebound, is the guy giving up the basket, the second chance points. So Sixers get a much needed 2 there. Nearly got the steal, then did get the steal. And then they stood on the sideline. I think it was Daniel House who was the man. And he's a little bit sore because he must have clattered into the chair on the sideline trying to save it. I reckon his shin's knocked into it because those ones hurt, even though they're very innocuous. I reckon he's hit the frame. Thomas, the drive, the kick out to Bridges. What a find. It is well off, though, and a rebound for Maxey. So 23-point lead for Brooklyn. Oubre down the middle. Claxton knocks it away. Oubre's able to recollect. It's now Maxey guarded by Thomas. The drive. How is that a foul, bro? He just lost the fucking ball. What a bailout. Bro, that is just not a foul. That's just not a foul. Mate, just swivel on it, bro. All right, so ball inbounded by Maxey will go the way of Morris. Maxey gets it back. He's got Claxton guarding him on the outside. House. Walker comes over to help. Maxey thought about the deep three. He tries to shake off Claxton. Tries to get through. Claxton stays with and forces another contested jumper. Dinwiddie. Thomas down the middle. Lost the handle. Got it back. Thomas again. Down the middle. Well short with that floater on the right hand. And then Morris just turned it over. Thomas secured. Walker three. It's off. Claxton the board. Gets one up. And was fouled by House. And the Nets will get their free throws. And you have to think, for the hustle by Cam Thomas, we well and truly deserved it there. What a careless way to give up an extra possession by Morris. So, free throws coming up for Nic Claxton. And he makes the first. So we crack 50. The lead is 24. Oh my god, Clax has got 13 rebounds already. We have 7.5 minutes to play in the second quarter. He's got 13 rebounds. What's going on? I think Nurse just got hit with a technical. So the frustration is building if it hasn't built already. Thomas at the line makes the free throw, and we just got an extra point for no damn reason. I don't know if Nurse was just talking a bit of chit-chat and it went on for too long, but regardless, it's going to count as a point on the scoreboard for the Nets. And we're up to a 25-point lead. Equal game high. Handoff. Oubre. Gonna drive on Dinwiddie. Claxton the swat! Get out of here! Get out of here! Oh, good rollover by Clax. I think we've got to give Dinwiddie credit for actually staying with Oubre and forcing it to be a little bit of a clunky go up on the layup. Thomas to the bench. O'Neal checks in. So it's Bridges, Claxton, O'Neal, Dinwiddie. And rounding out the five is Lonnie Walker. So 7:20 to play. Maxey inbounding on the baseline. It's inbounded to Morris. Claxton stays with. Morris shoots and scores off the window. That's a good bank. And the Nets up 23. If we can just let it hover at this margin, it'll be great. Claxton got held off the ball as he was rolling. He was well and truly loading up for that alley-oop finish, and unfortunately we'll never see the full result of that, but the foul on Philly. Claxton, bro, has been unbloody real. 13 rebounds in probably 11 or 12 minutes of game time. Ben checks back in. So does Cam Johnson. And to the bench goes O'Neal. No, O'Neal's in. Who went to the bench? Dinwiddie. Dinwiddie and Claxton. Johnson out to Bridges. O'Neal had an open three. Gave it to Walker instead. Shoots a turnaround J. That is a tough shot. And unfortunately, that one was well short on the baseline. So House is going to drive. Layup. Good. And the Sixers score a couple consecutive baskets. Walker will get into the set quickly. Walker, the drive. Oh my god, how is that not a foul? It was a great move by Lonnie. Moving into a three. That's off by, I believe it was House, and now Ben with the board. More booing by the Sixers crowd. He's going to spin. Good cut by Bridges. He was fouled by House. And it probably was a little bit clean, but a fair bit of contact involved in there as well. And so Bridges will shoot a couple after this timeout. So the Nets have sort of dried up a little bit offensively, but luckily for them, Philadelphia don't really have anyone that can get him out of that hole at the moment. This game is over. Never say never. Never say never, Ian. Because we know all too well that some weird shit happens in Nets games. Even when we think the result is well and truly in the books, this team always finds a way to absolutely choke it. Bro, are the Sixers really getting cooked by Ben Simmons? I mean, granted, they're missing like half their starters. But you know what? Like, as I've said time and time again, you've still got to deal with the team you're playing. It's not like we're playing no one and we've just had a walkover. We have to beat this team. We have to go out of our way to beat this team. You've got to do business. At the moment, it's fair to say we're well and truly doing that. The Sixers have really had to delve into their reserve in order to actually, well, you know, see if they can find a spark. Maxey has been hella inefficient, clearly taking a toll for having to shoulder all that responsibility. Oubre has not scored, and those are probably right there your two most reliable players, or on the offensive side, probably the two most dangerous. It just hasn't really existed for them, to be honest, and you can see they haven't made a three. Their field goal shooting's really rough. They're looking after the basketball. The free throws, they haven't had one in this quarter, and that's why they've really struggled even more so. The Nets have gotten, 12 from Bridges and Thomas. Then you've got Walker with 10 off the bench. Ben Simmons has got 4 dimes and 5 rebounds in a very quick space of time, only the 6 minutes of court action. Claxton has 13 boards and 7 points, so he could be in for a massive game today. He's also got the 2 blocks in there as well. He's only played 11 minutes, so I would imagine he's going to be refreshed in the second half. We're shooting the ball well. We've gotten to the line a little bit more, even that stat up. Shooting 50-40 from the field, and the 15 dimes are grouse. Only the 4 turnovers as well. So everything that you potentially could fall into the trap of, we're doing a good job of not falling into that trap. It's easy to potentially turn the ball over, fall victim to a very energetic, chip on your shoulder type team, because of all these players that, haven't gotten minutes across the season. They're getting minutes now, so they've got an opportunity to prove themselves. We're doing a good job of dealing with business. I think that's just the greatest way to put it, to be honest. The free throws coming up for Bridges. He made the first, made the second. We now have more free throws than Philly. We've taken 9 of them, made 7. The Sixers will get into a set after that timeout. Oubre, drive. Oh, that's a ferocious jam over Ben. That is a bit out of nowhere. I mean, this team, the Philly team hasn't looked lethargic, but their shot selection would indicate that they are feeling lethargic. Ben's just looking for a pass that, had to be laser pinpoint and wasn't. And now Maxey gets through, scores over Ben, and it's down to 19. So the Sixers have gone on a run of their own. It was up to as much as 25. It is now 19. Bridges, short on the 3, but you couldn't really ask for much of a better look. Cam Thomas is getting ready to return. Maxey will feed Morris. And now they will, take a contested jumper and he scores. So Sixers getting a nice little response in before halftime. They've scored the last 6 of the game. Walker had an open 3, but just didn't shoot it. O'Neal, back to Walker. I think we need to drive it. Just get a high percentage look. But we're probably going to be forced to take a 3. Johnson tries the wraparound. It is knocked away. and we've got 4 seconds to shoot it. That's a good defensive possession. It's a great defensive possession by the Sixers. And it's almost like the Nets were too afraid to take the shot that was given to them there. Ben's going to be the inbounder. Gets it to Bridges. 2 to shoot. Over the top. Oh my goodness, over Bumba. That's too good. Oh, Mikal is... Mate, that confidence is a bit fucked at the moment. He's just making everything. And he converts I think a 4th 3 of the game. Bamba picked up by Ben. Now the switch. Maxey's got Ben on him and he shoots and he converts. I'll tell you what, on release, that did not look good. That is their first 3-pointer of the entire game. Thomas to Ben. He's going to drive and he just fucking flung it right into the path of a Sixer, but luckily deflected out of play. So Ben is trying the do or die pass, I will say. The one where you live by the sword, die by the sword. It's inbounded to O'Neal by Ben. Bridges fakes the cut, gets it on the outside, the kick out to O'Neal. Give it a Cam. 5 to shoot, got to get one up. Pass to O'Neal, who drives. Floater, yes! As the shot clock expired. That's well worked. That's well worked. That's a great look. Drew the defenders. Morris shoots a 3 after hesitating, and it was badly off to the right. Ben will push the pace, get it to O'Neal, who did not shoot the 3. Bridges on the baseline, picked up by Maxey. He'll back him down, gets rid of Maxey. Bounce pass out to O'Neal. Knocked away by Oubre because Cam Thomas... Well, that was a crucial touch because Cam Thomas was wide open in acres of space if we got that pass to him. And so that read will mean we have to trigger it in from the side with 8 seconds left on the shot clock. So 58-39 the score. Ben will give it to Cam, who will drive, gets it up, and he wanted a whistle. He ain't going to get it. He thought he was hit on the arm. The Sixers can go the other way and do something with Maxey, guarded by Ben. The drive. Oh my god, bro. That is such a bait foul. I think he's just fallen over there. And the Sixers crowd getting involved, even though they're down 19. So, trying to will their team back in this. That is just such a phantom foul. Like, bro, that is such a cheesy foul to call, man. Bro, I could get 20 points a game if I did that every single time and got the call for it. Like, that doesn't even come down to talent, really. You can just fucking flail your arms and fall over and you'll get the whistle. I mean, unless I didn't see something on the replay and I just accidentally bat an eyelid to it, I didn't see anything in that should be deemed a foul. So, the Sixers are hanging around, which does serve as a little bit of a concern, but the Nets are doing a decent job. Why on earth do I have an extra minute added? We've got 2 minutes to play, not 3. O'Neal, cross to Bridges. They're playing that zone again, which means we're getting challenged to shoot the 3. O'Neal to the corner for Johnson. That is a good find. And you know what? Cam Thomas diverted all the attention away from CJ with that cut away from that corner where Cam Johnson was sitting. And thus, it allowed a wide open look. Oubre in the mid-range is short. The rebound by Ben. And he may close this half out. The handoff to Thomas. The no-look. Johnson's open for another 3. Didn't shoot it. Thomas also thought about it. Didn't shoot it. The drive. The kick out to Johnson. That is beautiful basketball. Doesn't work, though. Oh, my God. Are they going to give that a take foul? I've got no bloody clue, but there was a foul in transition. I think Thomas was trying to play the ball, so hopefully hopefully they don't call anything more than just the common foul. I don't think the Sixers are at the point of being in the bonus, but yeah. If you are enjoying the stream, make sure to drop a like on it and subscribe if you are new. We'll be back for Nets Mavericks, as you can see, on February the 7th if you're in Australia, and February the 6th if you are in the United States. We won't be doing the Warriors game, though. That Mavericks game will be the second night of a back-to-back. It'll also be the first time Kyrie Irving has returned to the Barclays Center since he got traded. So that's going to be a really interesting sort of dynamic, isn't it? Like, are we going to witness boos? Are we going to witness cheers? I'm not 100% sure. But, I mean, nonetheless, I'm going to be hella interested. But yeah, it'll remain to be seen for sure. So about 2 minutes to play in this opening half. We will do a box score check at the half. The Nets are up 20, have been every second of this game. Mikal Bridges looking good on threes. The ball movement is grouse. Ben Simmons looks very, very liberated almost. Very, very free in what he's doing. The offense doesn't need him to score for the offense to be good, which is a luxury because he does so much. Like, he does so much good for you that you don't want the lack of scoring to compromise his playing time, but it doesn't really make the offense waver. The offense flows when he's out there. This second quarter, it's looked a little bit more stagnant. We've only scored the 23 points in this second quarter. But we still hold a lead. We still have an advantage scoring-wise in this quarter, to be honest. We were only up. I say only, but it was a pretty sizable lead of... it was a sizable lead of 16 at quarter time, as you can see in the top of your screen. And we've allowed it to get up to 20. Too easy of a cut by Springer to the basket. I think Walker was the guy napping. So the backdoor cut was not warranted, honoured. And we sort of had to see one of the Nets players be the fall guy and commit the foul there, because otherwise it would have been a cakewalk of a layup. It is 61-41 as we close out the second quarter. Springer is good from the line for the first. 1:57 to play. Springer makes both. So, 18-point game. Spencer Dinwiddie will bring it up. Screen. Dinwiddie across to Johnson. Back to Dinwiddie. Looking for the pass to Claxton because he's got Springer on him. O'Neal is wide open top of the key. I don't even know how that opened up. But we're getting tested in terms of our ability to make threes with this zone being applied by the Sixers. They're not allowing the drive. They're challenging us to make those outside perimeter shots where we're not always too reliable, but today we have been on the brighter side of things with regards to conversion. Only the 18 paint points for the Nets. Walker, the three is good. He steps into it and hits, and it's now a 22-point lead. And we're pushing on the final minute of this second quarter. Maxey, the response? Yes, and the foul. It is a tough shot off balance. That is one you cannot concede, and it's Spencer Dinwiddie who connected with the contact. Well, look, I actually think he fouled Beverly beforehand, then hit Maxey on the arm afterwards. That's just fucking idiotic, to be honest. I mean, what a bailout. What an absolute bailout. Maxey scored 12 in the quarter. That free throw rims out, though, so it will only go down as a regulation three-pointer. And now the Nets can try to buff the lead up. And it looks like it was a carry. So Spencer Dinwiddie has had a fucking abysmal couple of possessions. What? What? Maxey missed another free throw. Apparently that was called for a flop on O'Neal. We got a technical foul on O'Neal for flopping. That is... Bro, I have never seen anyone ever call that. Ever. Oh, Johnson, you fucking idiot. So, we gave away a 3 and gave away the foul on it. Then we gave away a technical, and now we've committed a turnover. So, pretty poor 30 seconds. We need to close out the half strongly here. Do not give away a basket. Maxey the drive. Reverse is no good. They get one up. Oh my god, Spencer. You fucking batted it right to the Sixers. Beverly the 3. Yes. So on brand to give away that fucking rubbish. Like, Spencer Dinwiddie has played for the opposition in this last 2 minutes, bro. So dead. So a 16-point game. We can let the shot clock wind down because there's a 1 second difference between shot and game. 4 to shoot. O'Neal, Dinwiddie. Oh my god, that is not the extra pass you want. And that is going to be halftime. Spencer, I think, just needed to put that one up. I don't think there was time to pass it to CJ in the corner, but he did anyway, and CJ's off-balance corner 3 was off, so that is the half. And, well, it was even. Scoring-wise in that second quarter, we scored 29, and the Sixers matched it with 29 of their own, and they, well, ended the first half pretty strongly, to be honest. You know, there was... Well, I mean, a couple of minutes ago, they only had 19 points to their name, and then Maxey scored a few late ones, and they got a couple of extra chances at it. But overall, decent first half. Can't really complain. Got to ensure that we don't allow them back into the game. I hope that was the only capable sort of run they've had, or they've got in them, because I don't want to see what another run looks like in the second half, to be quite honest. We've had 20 first half dimes. That is quality. 12 threes. We're shooting the ball lights out. Ben's got 6 boards and 5 dimes, so he's not doing any scoring, but he's doing a hell of a lot of everything else. So Neil shot it at a great rate. Lonnie Walker's got 13. Bridges got 17. Johnson got 10. Cam Thomas got 12. These are all great efficiencies. Cam Thomas is a team high plus 23. He's got the 12. He's hit a couple threes. He's been good at facilitating. Got a steal. Defense hasn't been too bad as well on Maxey. He's had a couple of those possessions and he's been pretty good laterally. Bridges, I mean, he's scored 17. It really hasn't felt like it, but this is a great version of Bridges because out of all 10 shots, it hasn't really felt like he's held the basketball for longer than about 6 seconds in any of those possessions. It hasn't been a Mikal-centric offense. It's been very well-rounded. And when you see, well, you see quite a few starters, or nearly every single player that's played today. When you see nearly every single one of those players have 2 dimes or more, that is a great sign. That's a great sign because that's showing that it's not coming down to one player. You know, there is equal distribution, there's equal weight and responsibility across every single individual on offense. And that's going to lead to a better team. Full stop. Claxton needs to play more in the second half. I have no idea why he's held him out this much. Like, he has got 7 points and 13 rebounds. We have given away 6 offensive rebounds. Now, that is one way I can foresee us allowing them back into this game. Claxton with the 13 rebounds, I don't think he's getting out rebounded. You need to well and truly take full advantage of that and have him in the game for longer. I understand we're staggering the Ben and Claxton minutes, but that being said, I don't think Clax has done anything to warrant only playing 13 minutes. Maxey did elevate the efficiency in the back end of that quarter. He was 2 of 11, but now he's 6 of 16, so he's made 4 of his last 5 shots. He's been their high man. He's keeping him alive. And Oubre only scored the 2 points in that quarter. He did not have a free throw in that second quarter. So yeah, the only points came off the back of 1 field goal made. Outside of those 2, there's really not much else to rave about. They're shooting it not ideally from the field or 3, but they did make 3 of their last 4 3-pointers through Pat Bev and Tyrese Maxey. The free throw numbers also kept them alive, and the lack of turnovers. But yeah, I mean, it's a first half you can't really complain about from a Nets perspective. If I just go to the team comparison, I'll leave these stats up for you to take what you will out of those. I will double check fast break. So fast break, second chance, all those stats. The Sixers went on a prolonged 25-16 run from the 7:32 mark to basically the end of the quarter. We've also gone on a couple of good runs, a 23-8 run in the first over 6 minutes, an 11-0 run for about 3 minutes of the second. Points in the paint. The Sixers have had 30 and we have had 18. So even though we've been outscored by 12 paint points, we're still outscoring them by 16, and it's on the back of those 3-pointers first and foremost. It's been pretty drastic how many points we've gotten out of that. That's like 36 points to 9 ultimately from the outside. So there is the difference. And we've also limited the volume of shots they've taken from out there. So they're probably going to need to get at least 10 threes to even have a sniff of winning the game in the second half. And I really hope we're not going to see a Nets typical performance of allowing 10 threes on 50% shooting, because then that is really going to grind my gears. Rebounding, we're obviously outdoing them there. The Sixers haven't had a block yet. It's probably partially to do with the fact we're not really taking many shots on the interior, but that should be an indicator you try and test it. You drive and kick it out. The Sixers are playing zone, so there may be a few times where we turn the ball over. We've only had 6 in the first half, so I think it hasn't been a bad performance in that respect. I think we've found the right passes. We've tried to bite off the more difficult pass when it is on offer, but sometimes there has been stuff that's absolutely not on. And it's pretty much suicide for attempting it. Ben Simmons, cough cough, has been trying a little bit too hard to make the snazzy pass as opposed to making the simple, better pass. Second chance points pretty even, 7-6. Fast break points 13-8 in our favour, and points off turnovers 9-3 in favour of Philly. So ultimately, second half, all I can say is probably more of the same. I'm just trying to look at the team ranks here. yeah, there's not really much I can extract out of that. And a lot of those are skewed with Embiid in the lineup. So, yeah, that's the first half done and dusted. If you are enjoying the stream, make sure to show the support. We are doing another watch party in a few days' time. It'll be Nets versus Mavericks. It'll be Kyrie's... Well, it won't be Kyrie's return because he's injured, right? Doncic will obviously be in the house. The last time we played the Mavericks in the Barclays Center was decided in overtime, I do think. And obviously the last time we played the Mavericks, generally speaking, it was a bullshit Luka banker that won the game for Dallas. In a game that we played really well in, to be honest. So, look, we're going to be tested in the next week or so because there are some really tough games in there. But ultimately, this team is playing much better recently in the last couple of weeks, pushing the trade deadline. So whether that is just more a thing for value and getting the stats up so you can get something a little bit extra in return for them when you trade them off, or whether that's going to help the long-term prospects of this team in terms of what they produce the rest of the season. I don't know, but we're in the right direction. We're taking steps in the right direction. I do think the defense has lifted since we started switching again. And that needed to happen because, well, defensively we were traffic cones. But now we're holding teams under 110. It was so difficult for us for quite some time there to hold teams under 110 points. We couldn't not ship off 120. Like every game it was happening. And then once we were able to get these teams down to 105, 110 points, then we forgot how to score. And it's fair to say that I think we've gotten that back in recent games. Last game, who did we play? Phoenix. Scored 120 against Utah, scored 147. Today, we're probably on track for about 120 again. Look, I think if you get 120, you win this game. Because, look, I don't think, as much as I may jinx it right now, I don't think Philly is scoring 70 points with this squad unless Maxey goes nuclear like he did against Utah. Because in that game against Utah, they scored 127 points and Maxey was largely having to deal with this group here. Damn, Zach LaVine's out for 4 to 6 months. Shit. Let me just have a look at that game that they played. So, the Sixers played Utah the other week. Oh no, it's gonna boot me from. Guaranteed, it's gonna boot me from League Pass because I'm looking at it on my phone now. Let me have a look. Hang on. Philly. Who did they play? Okay, so the other day when they played Utah, Maxey got 51, so look, he's going to have to score 35 to get there again. Tobias Harris had 28, so he's not playing, so that's already 28 points that you're lacking. 16 to Oubre, he'll probably get there. Reed got 7, Beverly 8, House 5, Bamba 4, Springer 3, Korkmaz 5. So, look, they were shooting 50, 40, 90 in that game. I cannot foresee them doing that again. Harris went 13 of 21 and Maxey went 17 of 27. So, look, you'd have to do something special from here to reach those marks because they're shooting, 30% from the field at the moment, or 35%. So, yeah. And they had 21 free throws. Well, they'll probably get there. But I don't think they're going to get nearly close to the percentages they're shooting at right now. Or based off what they're shooting at right now. If you are enjoying, make sure to drop a like and subscribe as well. Also, share this one around if you know of any Nets supporters who may be willing or want to watch something like this, because obviously I want to grow this. So I've got as many people watching as possible. It's not really a numbers game. It's more just the fact that the Nets fan base isn't too big, so the more people we can get in one space at one time, I think it'd be better. A lot of different opinions, especially for a squad that no one bloody knows what the direction of this team is. So I think it's good to have as many people watching as possible that can sort of ask these questions. We can challenge each other, and also because Nets Twitter is a bit toxic. A lot of people get absolutely roasted for simply having an opinion, which I think is so wrong. There is a lot of toxicity on there for people simply voicing their opinion. I'm not a fan of it. So as civil as we can make it over here, the better, you know? Matthias, welcome to the stream, buddy. Hope you're doing well all the way up in Germany. Jesus. Nets world going far and wide to watch this one. Alrighty. So the third quarter is about to get underway. So in the next week or so, we've got the Warriors, the Mavericks, the Cavaliers, the Spurs. We're going to be doing the Mavs, the Cavs, and the Spurs, I think. Then there's 2 games at Boston, and I believe that is the final 2 games before the All-Star break. So I think we're doing probably 4 or 5 of the 6 games. So make sure to subscribe if you want to be notified when I go live. And there's also a donation button if you would like to donate as well. All proceeds go back into the channel, so it's not going nowhere else. Alrighty. So second half about to get underway, and I beg we do not allow the Sixers a fast start. Please don't do anything fucking stupid in the second half, please. So, third quarter action underway. And it is Philadelphia starting things off. Oubre picked up by Dinwiddie. Oh my god, bro. Spencer pisses me off on this defensive side. So Oubre at the line makes the first. He has been perfect. Perfect from the line. He's made 9 of 9. He's got 1 free throw to come here. So it took us a grand total of 14 seconds to give him shots. And they make both. So good start by Philly to open this second half. It's Dinwiddie. We'll give it to CT. Picked up closely by Oubre. Round about the half-court line. Oh, that is just a terrible pass, but we've got a foul off the ball. I think it's Maxey who was holding Spencer Dinwiddie. And that would have been a turnover because it trickled out of play. So, Thomas, pull up 2. That's wide open, and that is too wide open for Philadelphia's liking. Claxton actually drew 2 defenders as he was rolling to the basket, so sucked all that gravity away. He gravitated the whole defense away from Cam Thomas. That is too open for Oubre, and he misses. I mean, I can remember Oubre cooking us in a couple of games when he was at Charlotte and even at Philly. So thank fuck he didn't make that one. Thomas, the step back three. That is fucked. That is such a tough shot. That is greatness right there. Maxey down low. Reed is blocked by Claxton. He's going to bring it up himself, Ben Simmons style. And there's a foul. That has to be a take foul. Has to be. Has to be a take foul. Has to be, bro. We were out in transition. And you know what? I really want to see this Nets team utilize Claxton in that sort of way. As in, being able to give Claxton the responsibility of bringing it up very closely to that of how we'd usually see Ben Simmons operate. Like, get the rebound and go. And even though Clax isn't a better passer, maybe Clax can bring it up to half court quicker, hand it off to a facilitator, and then, you know, we can get into that offense much, much quicker, even though we wouldn't have Ben Simmons on the floor. So I feel like with Clax getting all these rebounds, I don't think anyone's going to take the rebounds off him. You know, I think we need to utilize that a little bit more often. Try replicate that environment as much as we can. Another foul was committed by Philly. Bridges waits for the defender to go by and then missed a mid-range. And it looks like Daniel House or Maxey, I don't know who stood on the side, but regardless, it's going the other way, and this has been a rough 2 minutes for Philly because, well, the Philly crowd are restless. You know, they've given away a 7-0 run. They've committed fouls, technical fouls. Thomas scores off the window again. And we've got a timeout. It's a 9-0 burst after Philly scored the first 2 points of the quarter through Oubre free throws. Cam Thomas has just taken charge, and we are up 23 in the blink of an eye. So, great start by CT. He's led the way to open this second half. And as I've said with the importance of starting a game well, starting a second half well is also a really big thing because Philly would have talked things over at the half and they would have, you know, probably been hit with a burst of energy. You know, sometimes how you get that adrenaline rush because you have the belief that you're going to win. You get that pep talk. You iron out what you need to do, and you probably go out of the break if you're Philadelphia, well, potentially excited with what could eventuate if you start the second half with a good burst of energy. Like a 9-0 run in their favor would have cut it down to 8. You get the crowd involved, and we know how feral their crowd is. You know, you get the crowd involved. You've got a couple players on that team that can really get in the opposition's head. Beverly, Maxey, all these sort of guys that'll really thrive and feed off the energy. So the way we've been able to counter that early in this second half is really, really important to getting a good result at the end of the game. Cam Thomas is leading the way with 20 points. He has been hella efficient. He's a team high plus 30 in 18 minutes. That is just, I don't even have words for that. Mans could have like a plus 45 if he keeps playing. If he even pushes 30 minutes, bro. Claxton's got 14 boards. CJ's actually not shooting it too badly. Bridges got 17. Aside from Spencer, everyone is shooting it really well. And Ben Simmons hasn't taken a shot. So he's doing a hell of a lot, even though he's not putting the shots up. So It's been really well-rounded. I say it time and time again, this team needs everyone to perform, especially when you've got a lot of guys missing. You need players to compensate for the absences, and you also need, well, your big players, irrespective of whether or not you've got some players available or not, you're missing a few. Those players need to perform on a regular basis in order for you to win, if they are integral to the structure of the way you play. And we're seeing Cam Thomas performing. Bridges is shooting it well. Claxton's doing well. Reed misses another push shot. It's Claxton with the defensive contest, and now Cam Thomas can pile on the pain further. Hesitation. Shoots over Oubre. That one rattles out. The rebound by Morris, and Maxey will look to get into things quickly. Swing to the corner for Oubre, and that's too easy. And that's a very smart bit of work. Bridges early offense. Oh, that's too easy. And that's perfectly executed by the Nets. Bridges caught the Philly defense off guard, was able to get behind the last line and was able to convert. Truly, Oubre, that three rattles out. Claxton, oh my god, bro. Mate, fucking communicate. Why is Claxton going for these dinky lob passes when he's falling out of bounds? Pass it to the closest, nearest, the guy that's not running out in transition. The Sixers overcommitted. Oh my goodness. Bro, Mikal is that confident in himself that he didn't even need to look at that rim to see if it was going in. Maxey the response? Yes. So, 21-point game. The Nets are shooting 50% from the outside. The Sixers, 29%. And they've only made the 4 threes. Hop step by Thomas. He hits. Toughly contested. And Cam is just... oh my god, bro. This guy is fucked. He's actually so good. Maxey. Lob. Oh, it looked like a lob. Disguised as a layup. But it was a layup. Dinwiddie the drive. Kick out. Thomas is open. Oh my god. The one time I step back and I'm ready to get up. It couldn't have been any more wide open. Thomas usually hits those in his sleep. Instead, we concede 2 up the other end. So, 21-point game. It's Thomas, the high screen. Thomas maneuvers into the mid-range. Bridges, no hesitation. It's off. The rebound by Claxton. Oh, wow. He didn't even... usually he would roll it out or find someone on the perimeter that's wide open as a result of the opposing defense collapsing, trying to get that rebound. Instead, he just decided to put the ball on the floor and try and maneuver his way through, and he was able to get the whistle going up. So 2 free throws for Claxton and a fair bit of distraction behind the hoop, but he's not fazed or deterred, and he converts the first free throw. So his second trip to the line tonight, he split the pair on the first trip. And given he made the first here, he can only go better. He can't go worse. So, Claxton at the line, with the Nets up 22. He makes both. Very good looking free throw. So Maxey to Oubre. Out to Korkmaz, who's in the game, with Kenyon Martin Jr., who drives. Claxton swats the shit out of it. And it's almost like Bridges and Clax couldn't work out who wanted to go save it, that they just both let it bounce out of play. And so Clax with another block to the tally. And the Sixers will trigger in from the baseline. Martin's just left alone. What the fuck was that defense? I'm not really sure if that's a part of the scouting report, if we just allowed that, but That was far too easy off the inbounds. Didn't even try deny that. Thomas lost his footing, got it back, and then he just threw it out of bounds. That's just a really irresponsible throwaway. Maxey, picked up by Bridges. Martin back to Maxey. The drive, he stops, turn around, doesn't get the bounce. Oh my God, how is that not our ball? Ben's going to check back in. O'Neal's going to check in. Dinwiddie's going to go off. And it looks like Mikal's also going to the bench. Bro, Cam is a little bit ginger, and it's like it's always those ones where he plants the pivot foot every single time. Every single time when he plants the pivot foot on offense, he's always looking a little bit ginger, a little bit sore. He's not too bad now, but he just looks very uncertain almost. He looks a little bit heavy in the walk. If Cam is done, then I'm done. He doesn't look, he looks like he can play, but he doesn't look 100%. It's like almost as if, like, there's been a couple occasions over the last 2 weeks or so where he's like had very subtle tweaks of the ankle. Like it'll either like, you can tell it's like a very minor roll, or it's like he's putting all the weight on the pivot foot and the pivot foot is the injured ankle. That like, you can tell that he sort of like has to wince in pain a little when he does it. We will do a box score check, and you can see that Cam Thomas is 22. Mikal likewise on very similar efficiency. And Lonnie's got 13 off the bench, but overall shooting the ball exceptionally well. It really hasn't wavered at all since the first quarter. 23 dimes today. Turnovers are at 8. Claxton's got 9 and 15 already, and 4 blocks, so he has done, well, a crap ton, and that's exactly what we expect from him when he's playing such opposition, and when his assignments are what they are. Given the, you'll see in highlighted in bold is the players on the court. Cam Thomas, as you saw, things just changed. And we've got our bench in. Cam Thomas did not change in colour. So I would assume that Cam Thomas is actually going to be out on the court after this timeout. So that is a good sign, for sure. Okay. So a 20-point lead, and it will be... whose ball is it? I can't remember. Let's have a look. Oh, so it's where so he hurt his ankle when he slipped over. And it's almost like it was a very big stretch of like the lower legs to like the calf muscle almost. Johnson to O'Neal, now to Walker. And that is miscommunication. Walker was wide open, didn't get enough lift on that 3. But all the players deserted Walker on the outside. So he had the space for that look. Oubre makes the space, but was short on the little pull-up. And now Ben swings it to Walker. Quick trigger. Wow, that was a bad miss. O'Neal, Ben, Thomas open 3. Oh my God. We've had a lot of 3s in the last couple of minutes. Wide open that we just have not drained. And now Martin isn't able to finish off the alley-oop layup. And now the Nets have the numbers. Thomas lost it, got it back. Johnson open 3, that's off. Walker, the putback 2 is good. No one was boxing out. And that's pretty inexcusable. So 22-point lead. And, well, the threes are... Well, we've had this run where I think we were 14 of 28. And I think we're about 14 of 35 now. So, missed the last 6 or 7. Oubre was not fouled on that drive. Beverly puts one up as the shot clock expires. That's off. Ben will get it ahead to Lonnie, who will drive. Extra feed. Johnson, easy two-handed flush. And the Nets converting defense to offense. Ben just launching those 30 to 40-foot passes that really get us into offense nice and early when the defense isn't set. It's another dime. Maxey with the throwdown. Good response. And they needed that one just to hang around because, I mean, the offense has not come easily today. So the more they can get those looks, the better. That's what's going to get them back in this game. Thomas in a switch. He's got Martin picking him up on the outside. The screen. Thomas trying to shake off Maxey. It's great defense. Johnson on the move. Was not fouled. And Oubre's talking shit to him while he's down. Korkmaz passed to the corner. O'Neal was able to knock it out of play. And that was well covered by the Nets because all outlets were blocked off. So, 22-point lead for Brooklyn. We have inflated the lead a little small fraction in this third quarter by about 6. Bridges back in for CJ. And now Bamba is in for the Sixers with Springer. Maxey remains in. He's played the entire quarter. 3 over O'Neal. That's short. The rebound by Ben. Is able to handle it. Get it ahead to O'Neal. Lob. Oh my God. What the fuck are we doing, bro? Stop trying to fucking play the highlight game, bro. Just fucking lay it up, Royce. Has a fucking wide open look and he's gone for this. Oh, that is just fucking idiotic by Royce. Seriously, I hate this part of his game. Has an open layup and he's trying fucking Harlem Globetrotters shit. Lay it up, you fucking idiots. Walker was just a little bit too far away from the rim to actually jam that one in. And then Ben gives away an and one on the other side. It's just a bit fucking low IQ, isn't it? Like, that's the stuff that... Bro, Royce is a good player, but, mate, that is the reason I hate the guy, because that was just completely unnecessary within the context of the game, and of course he has to be fucking fancy. Thomas, easy finger roll, far too easy. And that is pretty unforgivable from a Philadelphia perspective. The Sixers down 21. Beverly, Dinwiddie went under the screen. Beverly hit back iron on the 3, the rebound by CT. And Cam Thomas will bring it ahead. Using that high screen by Clax, pulling up for 3. And it rims in. We've got another one. Cam Thomas hits, well, our first 3 in, well, our last 8. So he missed the prior 7. Maxey, the layup is no good, and he got struck on the arm by Lonnie Walker on that drive, and he's going to get 2 looks at it from the free throw line. I've just gotten the replay of the Jaden Springer layup before where Ben Simmons gave away the and one. That was fucking rubbish. It was just a clear push-off. He initiated the contact. As in, like, Ben removed himself from the situation and Springer just bumped into him. The ultimate cheese that has contributed to teams giving away fuck tons of points nowadays because they call that bullshit as a foul. If you are enjoying, make sure to drop a like on it and subscribe as well if you're new. We'll be back for Nets Mavericks later in the week, missing the Warriors game, but we will be there for that Nets Mavs game. So a 22-point lead. The Nets are pushing on 100 points, and we haven't even reached three-quarter time yet. Dinwiddie, Claxton, Bridges, Thomas, Walker the 5. Thomas to the corner for Walker. Back to CT. Gets through the zone. The layup. Got it to go, +1. And he just does the little shoulder shrug. He is him. He's allowed to do that shit. Bamba just lowering the arm right into Cam Thomas as he tried to reach over for the block. And Cam Thomas is just too good to not punish that sort of error on the defensive side there by Bamba. So 25-point lead. Cam Thomas has 18 third quarter points, and I thought his first half was good. He's gone out and scored 18, and he had, I think it was 12 in the first half. So he's gone out and gotten 30 in three quarters. Bamba, the response? Nope, but the offensive board by Springer. The kick out to Beverly. Korkmaz is open, and he converts from way downtown, and that's his first bucket of the game. So, look, nothing pains me more than when we give away a 3 after, well, giving away an offensive rebound. Does my head in. Thomas again is feeling it. Yes! We've got 100! And Cam Thomas is 21 in the quarter. That is fucking disgusting. Maxey can't get the layup to go. There definitely was a lid on that rim. And it looks like there is a foul on Dinwiddie or Claxton. Mo Bamba is the guy who will get the free throws. CT has made 8 of his 12 in the quarter. This guy's a bit ridiculous. This guy is just a bit ridiculous. I think a bit ridiculous is undercutting it, underselling it, understating it. He is just ridiculously good. Bamba misses the first, and you know what? JV is a terrorist for holding him out for this long. Although, to be fair, I do think the stint out of the starting lineup probably has made him better for the experience. I don't think he's actually this good if he isn't on the side for that long. And that may be a stupid, shallow statement, but that, in my opinion, is true. Not necessarily right, of course. Thomas, the step back 2. Oh, wow. You wouldn't have thought that he'd scored 21 with the way that shot looked. He airballed it. Korkmaz out to Maxey. Good jab step, but he misses. Oh my God, another offensive board on the long rebound. And then Maxey had to collect it because it was well far to his right and it went out of play. So the Nets up 24. They've scored 103 quarters. We've got 1 minute to play. And it is Cam Thomas going to the bench. Because that's what you do when you score 21 points. You know what, JV? I can acknowledge a good bit of coaching when I see one. And usually, I think this indicates a bit of growth by JV because he would usually send Cam Thomas to the bench when he was cooking. He played him basically the entire third quarter, 11 minutes. I like taking him out a minute before the end of the quarter because you can get the break between the third and fourth and also get that little extra minute in. Walker, the pull-up 2, that is good as well. And the clock stops at 56 seconds left in the quarter. And the Nets are up 26. I believe this is a game high. Beverly, the drive, takes it downhill, gets the reverse to go over Walker. That's a very skilled move by him. And so a 24-point margin we are dealing with. Oh my God, bro. Fuck off. Wait. They've called a foul on the Sixers. Mate, that is an incredibly soft foul if that was a foul. I think it's just a 3-second call, but I don't really know what. Let's just have a look. So Beverly elbowed Clax, and then Clax just gave it right back as if to say, well, if you're going to do it one way, don't expect the retaliation to not happen in return. And so Claxton, with the Nets in the bonus, has gotten to the free throw line. He makes the first. Clax hitting free throws, damn. I know, he's made 4 of his 5, and he's 56% on the season, and that's actually, well, he just missed that one, but he's 55.6, so I'm probably making it look a little bit better than what it actually is. 23-point game now with that floater good by Pat Bev, and with the 5-second difference between shot and game, the Nets will hold for 1, and it won't give the Sixers too much time to bring it up the other end. We just can't turn it over. Walker to Bridges to the corner for Dinwiddie. Pulls the trigger on the 3. That is off. Johnson taps it to Claxton, and that's an unconventional dime if I've ever seen one, but it will go down as 2 points regardless. We take those. Beverly will drive on Bridges. Good move, and Korkmaz scores with the backdoor cut proving effective. And that's it. 3/4 time, and the Nets are up by 23, 105 to 82, and the offense yet again just looking very, very delicious in that quarter. Well, what did we score? We scored 38 more points, so we basically replicated what we did on the offensive side in the first, in the third quarter. And for the Sixers, well, they scored 31, so they've only gotten better as the game's worn on from the offensive side. But granted, you know, it was always going to be tough if they shipped off another 38 points in the quarter, so I don't think we need to do too much more to get the victory. Look, we'd have to do an all-time choke job to lose this one from here. I beg we don't do it. We can't see a 23-point lead at 3/4 time and say, well, we've got the game well and truly sewn up, because it's not done yet. Well and truly not done yet. Ben Simmons got 9 rebounds and 5 assists. Tell me that's not a weird-ass stat line. Cam Thomas is 33. He scored 21 third-quarter points. He shot 8 of 12. He was hella efficient, and he hit he's hit 5 threes in the game. Claxton's actually made the most free throws out of any net, which is a pleasant surprise. He's got 12 and 15 and 4 blocks. Cam Johnson scored 13, and Bridges with 22. He had a quiet third quarter, but he didn't really need to do much, with Cam Thomas absolutely cooking. And Lonnie Walker off the bench has scored 17 on great efficiency as well. Ben with the 5 dimes. O'Neal's done a little bit here and there. It's fair to say that this has been a well-rounded team performance to this stage, and you can see the shooting splits as well, 50, 40, and 80. The offensive rebounding's pretty good. The assist number could reach 40, and I think in the Utah game, that was the 3rd time since the turn of the millennium that we had 40 or more assists in a game. Only the 3rd time in about 24 years, and we very much could be seeing the same thing happen twice within a week. So, I mean, it depends. If we have another 38-point quarter, it could be on the cards, to be honest. But yeah, it's been a ripper quarter, and we didn't really turn the ball over. I reckon we had 1 or 2 turnovers the entire quarter. You can see Philly aren't shooting it nearly well enough. And, you know, it's it's going to have to be an astronomical turnaround in order for them to actually be able to get the job done here. They're going to have to do it on both sides of the ball, and they're going to have to do it very, very convincingly. It's Bridges who will drive the kick out. It's a turnover, and that's a good start, because that's, as I just said, something we weren't doing in that quarter. Springer steps into a 3, misses, and Bamba was too far away from the ball to get the rebound. Bridges' 3 is off, and it hits back iron. Springer with the board. He's going to get into the offense early. Korkmaz, the nice little push shot is good. And the Sixers up well, they're playing full court press, but not really. It's a very half-assed press. But they get the first 2 on the board. So a good start by them. Johnson is just hovering in the in-between, in that mid-range area. Dinwiddie now 4 to shoot. He's going to drive. He's going to kick it out. Walker's open. Right in front of the bench he hits. And that is excellent offense. And look, the Sixers are going to commit a fair bit to trying to get those steals, and they're going to try and make things as congested as possible and try cut off the passes. But if we can get those passes to the man we're intending, then I think we're going to be just fine, because there'll be a lot of open shots on offer. Walker is going to use that Claxton high screen. The bounce pass to Johnson was partially deflected. Dinwiddie relocates to the corner. He's wide open, and he converts as well. And it is a 27-point lead. We have hit 18 threes. The Sixers have only hit 6 at a clip of 29%. This one, well, if we lose this from here, my God, I don't think I'll know what to say. Bamba, it's knocked away. Johnson, how does he... Well, he eventually got the basketball, but it couldn't be any more of an unconvincing steal. Dinwiddie to the corner for Bridges. Driving kick. Johnson's open top of the key. Stand up. Nope. Dinwiddie was too busy waiting for it to go in that he didn't get the rebound. Springer goes vertical. Missed it. Bamba with the follow. And it is down to 25. Bro, I don't know how we've missed the most wide open shots. Like, we've had meters and meters and meters of space and missed absolute sitters. Johnson will drive on Springer. The wraparound pass, that was cut off. Another turnover. Beverly, that's too easy. Wide open lane, and I would expect a timeout to be called. And it is a 23-point lead for the Nets. You cannot afford these turnovers. The Sixers are doing a good job in the first few minutes of this last quarter, collapsing and really forcing us into tight spots. So we've just got to make sure we don't fall into that little trap. But the Sixers have started well. I think if there's any hope of them winning this game, it's going to come off the back of that sort of play. Alrighty. If you are enjoying, make sure to drop a like on it and subscribe as well if you are new. We'll be back for Nets versus Mavericks. So make sure to be there for the full play-by-play call. Let me know how, if you are new around here, let me know what you think of these play-by-plays. What do you think about them? What do you think about the way I deliver them? Is there a certain way I could present things differently? Obviously, I'm not a professional, but I do the best I can with the resources I have and the experience I got. But obviously, I have my fan cap on quite literally, so at times things can get a little bit out of hand, and I can get a little bit too passionate, probably for your liking. But yeah, make sure to drop a like on it just to indicate whether you are enjoying these. Alrighty. It's great to see the offense flowing though, for sure. We've got 111 points. I mean, the last 3 games, it's been well and truly excellent to watch. And look, it's really, really important that we deal with these sort of teams. It just hasn't happened enough. We've lost to Charlotte. We've lost to Washington. We nearly lost to Detroit. We didn't really deal with them on multiple occasions. So to see us with such a resounding lead at this stage of the game is important, of course. And it really puts you in the box seat. But we've got to make sure we don't take the foot off the gas. We got to aim for 130, 135 points and really put the foot on the throat. So 9 or so minutes to play. So the Nets have Bridges, O'Neal, Simmons, Thomas and Walker, the 5 on the floor. So Claxton getting a little bit of a breather. Thomas, kick out. Bridges is open. I'm just not liking the 3-pointers at this stage of the game. I really think if you take too many of them and you get sucked into taking too many of them, you well and truly could let them back into the game with some easy sort of baskets, because they'll get those long rebounds and they won't have to take as many dribbles up the floor. Why is Ben going to the bench? I mean, it's a 23-point game. He played for like 1 minute and now he's sitting down again. And I think Nick Nurse has called a timeout. After one possession, they've seen an air ball and they're like, that's enough. We're emptying the bench. Apparently, the Sixers broadcast aren't actually referring to Ben Simmons as Ben Simmons. They're calling him number 10 or some shit, as if they don't know the guy. Bro, you're supposed to call every player the same. Like, that is just... Yeah, I mean, that's just a bit low, if I'm honest. That's just like... Is that just an agenda the organization are pushing? I don't know. All right. Let's just have a quick look at the box score. For the Sixers, I mean, that really says it all. It's just like their team just isn't good enough today. Like, you look at the 2 players in double figures and even they aren't shooting it particularly well. If Oubre and even Maxey, for that matter, don't have as many free throws as they do, they're probably like on 70 points right now. Like, probably. So yeah, the inefficiency has been pretty clear. It's the complete opposite on the Nets side. Bridges hasn't really scored in this second half. He had a really good first half. Cam Thomas has had an explosive second half. Lonnie Walker been really efficient. Love his minutes off the bench. Such a good value contract. And we've hit 18 threes. So I think the real reason why we've gotten back to our winning ways is the 3-point percentage. Ultimately, we're getting the looks. Well, I think even in the losing streak, we were getting some really open looks. These players weren't hitting them. And even though the the 3-point percentage has gone down, it was like at 14 of 28. So it's actually like 4 of our last 15. The 18 threes is so important, especially when you've got all these 3 and D wings and the opposition are playing zone. You've got to knock those shots down. So, you know, the minute you can't hit those, you place yourself in a really, really bad spot. Pat Bev is... Did Pat Bev get... Pat Bev got thrown out by this ref... Oh my god, there's a... Well, the referee that threw him out is the same referee that's had some awful decisions when it comes to throwing players out this season. Like, he's got a reputation of just being absolutely rubbish and being really in his feels. Like, yeah. So, I think the Sixers challenged a 3-point call and they just lost it. So, they're really just... Every effort is in vain today for the Sixers, to be honest. Thomas is back in. Step back 3. Has to be a foul. It's going to be 3 shots, and I don't know who that is that's guarding him. I think it's Smith. I think he's a rookie for Philly, so we're channeling a part of the rotation for Philly that I have no idea who they are. And they are committing some stupid fouls like that one. So really now, like, well, the thing is, we've only got 10 fit players, so we're going to have to play some rotational players in the final 8 minutes. But man, like, what a performance today. Harry Giles is in. You know, what a performance. Bridges is going to the bench, and that'll probably end off his day. I would assume that Cam Thomas is probably going to go for 40. That is if they don't bench him. I don't think we have the personnel to bench him, honestly, with our backcourt sort of being a little bit depleted. That mid-range by Springer's good. It's a 25-point game. How refreshing that we're not on the receiving end of a flogging. And this game is, well, I don't want to say it's pretty much done, but it is pretty much done. Thomas shoots another 3, and that one is just a little bit wayward. I mean, probably a bit uncalled for. Martin the drive, the Euro. Bro, he just completely removed Watford. We've just got to be careful that he hasn't brought the team in too early. Watford the drive. Layup is off. Put back is good by Trenton Watford. And we're going to get another timeout, I think. What? Did they just call a delay of game for passing it to the referee? You got to be kidding me. So Korkmaz, the drive. And it's going to be 2 shots. It's Giles who will pick it up. What was I going to say? I just heard over the broadcast, we haven't won against the Sixers in 9 straight games if you count the playoffs. So it's been like a good season or so. Korkmaz misses the first. It's been a good season or so. Probably since 2022 was the last time we won. So, Korkmaz makes 24-point lead. 24 up. 117.93. Giles. Oh, wow. Crossover. Off the window. That's a little bit of an egregious sort of shot. Watford does well to get the offensive board. And it will be Nets ball on the side. If you are enjoying the stream, make sure to drop a like and subscribe if you are new as well. We'll be back at it for Nets versus Mavericks, where hopefully we can actually get one on them. Watford has a wide open 3. That is practice shot territory. And that is a complete collapse of defense right there by Philly. And the Nets have 120, and we've got 7 minutes to play. Good bit of acceleration by, is that Smith? It is the rookie. And it is Giles picking up his second. So if you want to know why he doesn't get minutes, this is probably why. He's already committed 2 personals against, well, amateurish level opposition. He gets the rebound after the and 1 free throw isn't converted by Smith, and now Cam Thomas will bring it up. And he nearly got pinged for an 8-second call, should I say. Giles, top of the key, hits a 3. And Cam Thomas has got 5 dimes. We have hit 23 pointers. Philly still stranded on 6. Council, that's actually his surname, I kid you not. Misses off the window. Thomas is going to use that Watford screen and switch. He's got Korkmaz picking him up. 3 created the space. That one rattles out. Giles gets the offensive board and muscles his way to the basket and scores off the window. And bro, Cam is really dropping his percentages with all these threes he's jacking up. Smith to Council, in the middle to Springer, who's guarded by Giles, believe it or not. Moves through and it somehow bobbles out. And now Watford with the board. And he will slow things right up. Giles ain't going to give it to Thomas. He'll give it to Walker instead, who will go to work on Korkmaz. And he shoots a three, and he airballs it. Don't really know why we're shooting so many threes. Korkmaz was fouled by Walker, and they waited an awfully long time to call that one. So, free throws coming up. I think Lonnie could get 30 if he started, but the Nets don't need him to score much. I mean, a nice, energetic 20 off the bench is all we need from Lonnie, especially if Cam's going to go off in the starting lineup. Free throw for Korkmaz is good. So, this is crazy. We're up 29. And I'm actually relaxing for once. This is crazy. And we've got 5 minutes left of this, so relish it, embrace it. It's Watford who will look for Cam Thomas. Watford nearly had the ball stolen off him. Thomas, the runner, is good. And he's up to 38 points in the game. Smith, the pull-up three, one and done. Oh, wow. Makes the deep three. Are we going to hit that 40 assist mark again? I reckon we'd be somewhat close, for sure. Walker's going to waltz across the half-court line. And he will probably feed Giles here. Giles is going to take on Korkmaz in the post. And score off the window again. Harry Giles is just... I mean, they've got no size on the court. Kenyon Martin is like their tallest player. That's another deep three by Smith. So, I mean, it makes a lot of sense to just keep feeding H and just let him capitalize on that. Honestly, they got Martin picking him up now, and he's going to shoot a step back two, and that's off. The rebound by Springer. And he'll accelerate to the rim and score nicely off the window. And it's down to 24 the margin. But any bucket now is merely a consolation, I think. And the Nets have, done what they've needed to do against a weaker opposition today. Thomas accelerates and has 40 to his name. And you would expect that to be it for Cam Thomas. Don't risk the guy. But they'll probably keep playing him the final 3 minutes. We don't have a Keon Johnson or like a Dennis Smith Jr. on the bench to relieve him. But the Nets have 130. And we've hit 23 pointers, which is just grouse. Lonnie Walker's got 20. Watford's got a few off the bench now. Harry Giles has hit a 3 as well. Overall, look at Cam Thomas's plus minus, bro. 40 points on great efficiency. And we had this discussion. If you haven't watched it yet, I did do a podcast with Nets fans you know. If anyone has heard of that podcast and you want to listen in, it's like a 17-minute episode talking about Ben and all this. But Cam Thomas, every game he scored 30, he has shot a true shooting percentage of above 60%. And I think with, those percentages there, I think he's going to be above 60% again. Plus 34 in the plus minus. And 5 dimes as well. I think that's a great thing to acknowledge as well about his game today. Mikal did all the work in the first half, making threes at a great rate. We've been jacking a few up in the second half, but yeah. we've been we've been jacking a few threes up, but I think it's just acknowledgement that the game's done and we can sort of afford to relax a little bit. We're going to advance to 20 wins, 28 losses, 1 win outside of the play-in. And look, I don't get too sucked in. Like, whichever direction this franchise goes, I mean, we can't really say shit until the deadline has passed. But also, like, I don't really get sucked into the trade stuff, even though it's good to talk about it, because it obviously concerns the team. Like, I don't really... I usually watch the game and the product is what matters. And look, the way the team is currently positioned right now, it's going to, like, we need to win as many games as we can. Like, there's just no incentive to lose the way the team is currently constructed. So any game you have an opportunity to win, you need to win it. Oh my God. Bro, Harry Giles has committed 3 personal fouls in about 5 minutes, bro. Cam Johnson is on the court as well. We're up by 30. It's not crazy. It's called the Ben effect. He just makes the team better. I don't even think it's that. You know what I'll put it down to? I'll put it down to Cam Thomas starting. Yes, Ben's making an impact, but he's not playing... He's not playing like... He's not playing 35 minutes a game. He's played like half that today, if that. I think he's played about 15 minutes. O'Neal has an open 3 top of the key, and that is short. The rebound by Giles. Gives it to Watford. He's open in the dunker spot, and he converts for 2. It's more the Cam effect, because Mikal looks freer. He looks like the burden is sort of lessened. He actually looks more fresh, as another 3 is hit by Philly. Bro, they've been knocking down a few 3s in this junk time portion of the game. Yeah. Giles, the reverse, that's off. The rebound by Martin, they're going to push it. Another 3 on offer for Smith, and he converts another one. Bro, they didn't even look like they had a sniff of exceeding, what was it, 120 points. They may get there. Bro, Royce, what the fuck are you doing? Mate, this is not a very good end to the game. Bro, that is just fucking abysmal by Royce. He can't even fucking dribble a basketball properly. Oh my God. Bro, this guy, Taquavion Smith, who I had not heard of until about 10 minutes ago, has hit about 5 3-pointers. And cut the lead to 17. Thomas waits the kick out to O'Neal. We've got 8 to shoot. Giles. Oh my God, he blew the dunk, and it's going to be called a foul. But I think that's just a bailout of epic proportion, because I don't think that actually was a foul. Yeah, it was. Hit him in the face. It's going to be 2 free throws in the final 2 minutes of this quarter. The first free throw is good. And the second free throw is off. Drive and kick. And another 3. And that's good as well. Bro, this guy can't miss. It's down to 15 points, bro. They've hit 6 threes in the quarter. And I think he's hit every single one of them. He's actually been on a heater. Giles is doubled. They're on a 12-1 run in a minute and a half. Johnson, corner 3. That's off. Get the rebound, please. Oh my God, it's a 3-on-2 fast break. And they get a dunk. And it's now a 13-point game. And this is sort of depressing that we couldn't even fucking close the game out. Watford is blitzed. He's going to take the long way round to get it across or through the backcourt. Watford is doubled. Drive, layup is easy. And, well, it's fair to say because we were up by God knows how much, they didn't have a sniff of getting back into the game in the last. And that three's off by Philly. This one is going to be done, but how did we concede 121 in this game, bro? Like, I mean, we won the game, but you would have liked to have seen us close the game out a little bit better than this. We had Cam Thomas on the court. We had Cam Johnson on the court for a bit there. It's hurt his plus-minus a little bit. Thomas is just going to hold, and I think he will just hold and let the clock wind down, probably. 3 to shoot. He's just going to shoot a step-back 3 off one leg and miss. Johnson gets the offensive board, and there's no reason for him to do really anything. Giles thought about the 3. He had it, like, loaded up, and he just was like, nah. And Mikal put the thumbs down, and he was like, well, I'm not a fan of that. You got the open 3, shoot it. You don't get these minutes, usually. Make the most of it. Well, this one's going to be done, and the Nets win 136 to 121, and, well, I mean, Philly, didn't they score like a fucking stupid amount of points in that last quarter? They scored 39 last quarter points on the back of Quavion Smith, whoever that is, scoring a fuck ton of points. We're going to do a quick post game and then we'll head off. But ultimately, Cam Thomas, big boy, got 40 points in this game. He was huge. Plus 23 in the plus-minus, but he was a plus 35 about 3 minutes ago. The bench sort of got cooked. Royce O'Neal is a -5. We shot at above 50% from the field. The three-pointers were about 45% from 3 until we jacked up quite a few in the last quarter. Like, we were 14 of 28. Since that point, we went 6 of 23, which is an awful mark, by the way. We had 13 offensive boards. We had the 35 assists, Cam Thomas with 5 of those. Dinwiddie only hit the 1 3-pointer. Lax had 12 and 15. He had like 13 rebounds in a quarter and a half, really. And then Mikal Bridges with 23. Cam Johnson started the game well, missed a ton of threes in the back end of the game. What's new? And Ben Simmons had 9 boards, 5 dimes, and no points, but he played 14 minutes and got out of the game unscathed. So that is a win in our books. And from a Philly perspective, well, Maxey and Oubre aside, it was always going to be difficult to see where the offense would come from. To Quavion Smith in 9 minutes scored 17 points and he hit 5 threes. And look, I mean, a lot of their bench guys got a fair bit of run, more run than they usually would. Maxey and Oubre just didn't have the efficiency going for them today. And we saw the other day when they played Utah, they were shooting lights out. Or Maxey and Tobias Harris were shooting at lights out. And then Oubre was a nice supporting cast. Today, they didn't really have the supporting cast. And their best 2 players weren't even performing well. Ultimately, they shot 45% from the field and 41% from 3, which is sort of baffling because they were at about 35% from the field, 27 or 8% from 3, and they've ended up with these numbers. So, look, they get out-rebounded by 9. Turnovers, they looked after the ball. But, look, it was always going to come down to the fact that they were allowing 23-pointers and allowing us to shoot 52% from the field. That was always going to be, like we said this, the previous game, we said, when you give away 136 points, because we did that against Phoenix, it was always going to be very, very difficult to win a game of basketball, especially when you don't have the personnel required to score 136 points. And look, well, I mean, Philadelphia looked like they were going to score 105, 110 points. So those Taquavion Smith threes actually inflated their score a little bit, but they never had the firepower to get it done. And look, they couldn't really afford to get anything wrong today. And from minute 1 in the first quarter, the Nets really started the game well, inflated that lead, and really capitalized on a shorthanded Sixers team who, on a different day, could have capitalized on a little bit of complacency, but we rocked up with the right mindset and got the victory. A victory that you've got to get when you're faced with this sort of opposition. All right, let me just have a look. If you are leaving now, make sure to drop a like on the way out and subscribe if you are new. We'll just do a quick check of the... I'll just put up the team comparison real quick so you can see everything there. The fast break points and the second chance points, that's what I'm looking at. So the fast break points... 29-15, so Philly capitalized in the last quarter and really buffed up that total, and we had 3 more second chance points. The Sixers had 16 more points in the paint, yet obviously we put them to the sword from the outside, and points off turnovers 16-7, so I don't think we were ever going to get too many points off turnovers when the Sixers are very, very disciplined generally. Looking after the basketball, irrespective of who they've got on the court. So overall, a win that was, well, pre-game, you had to say we had to win this one, and we did. We did business. We've got the Warriors, we've got the Celtics, the Mavericks, the Cavaliers, all in this next run of games. Before the All-Star break, we'll be here for the majority of those. This is, well, a great win. Cam Thomas with 40, Ben Simmons, a game where he doesn't get injured, thank God. And we got some really well-rounded performances from the likes of Bridges, Claxton, Lonnie Walker, even the guys that played the final 7 or 8 minutes. We saw a little bit of them and what they've got to offer, and it was good to see. So overall, good dub. Any final thoughts in the chat if you would like to share those? Cam Thomas had 5 assists. Yep, that's a good observation, of course. Cam Thomas passing the ball, mixing that in with the 40 points he had, that's great. That is the indicator that this guy is the guy that you need to hand the keys to when it comes to the offensive responsibility and weight. Another 40-point game from Cam Thomas. How many is that now? I would say it's probably in the range of maybe 4 or 5. He's at 14, now 15, 30-point games. So he's probably maybe a third of those are 40-point games. But yeah, this is a much-needed, welcomed victory. We'll be back for Nets Mavericks. I'm not sure if I'll be there for the very start because I may be out. But best believe we'll be doing at least the second half. As soon as I can get in front of the computer, that's when we'll start it. So make sure to tune in for that whenever you would like. But we're done here. So great win by the Nets, a convincing one, a needed one. And yeah, there's not really much you can complain about today, which is sort of a weird, odd sight for a Nets game, because it really has been some time since we've had a couple of good performances within a shorter space of time. Because even against Phoenix, we weren't awful. There were a few little, we weren't short of fight. It was more like the personnel we were lacking that really was, the bane of our existence in that game. And Nurkic had a blinder because of it. But outside of that game, the last week against Utah and now this one, good wins. Wins that, aren't guaranteed. You need to perform for them, but good teams get the job done and do it convincingly, and we did exactly what we needed to do today. So thank you. That'll do it. Make sure to drop a like and subscribe on the way out. we will see you in a couple of days' time, or a few more than a couple of days. But make sure to stay safe. We will see you soon. Have a good one, and bye for now.